Welcome to the Building Doors Podcast, where we're not just pushing for opportunities for women's voices to be heard, we're creating them. I'm Christy Harst, voiceover actor and creator of the Building Doors campaign. Join us as we amplify voices, break barriers, and build doors together.
Hi, I'm Soraya Butler, and I'm an ambassador with the Building Doors campaign. I am very fortunate that voiceover has always been a part of my journey as an actor living in New York City. My background is as a film, TV, and theater actor, and I also did on-camera commercials, industrial corporate films, and then also the voiceover for commercials and corporate industrial films, and also dubbing work. And I had a blast, and I loved it. And around 2018, I decided to ask my agent, how do I do more of this voiceover stuff? Because it's super fun and I have a blast. And he told me, he said, look, we have a lot of talent who have at-home studios and they just work from home and only do voiceovers. And in my brain, I was like, oh, I live in a tiny Brooklyn apartment. There is no way I can fit a studio. And that sounds expensive. Like, I don't know that I can do that. I didn't say that out loud, but I was like, we'll stick a pin in that. And at some point, we're going to revisit this because I really love doing voiceovers. And also around that time, I started to get auditions that I would have to record at home and then send the MP3 to my agent. And so, embarrassingly, I just bought an Apogee USB mic, stuck it in a padded box in a live room, recorded through Twisted Wave on my computer, and would send off those auditions happy as a clam. And I would book. And I think my saving grace was that New York was a very much audition in person kind of town. So the casting directors knew me. In fact, I would audition mostly at my agent's office. There was a recording booth, an assistant ran the sessions. You would go in at your appointed time, read the copy, either by yourself or in a group. They would do what they do and send it off to the casting director, and I booked. So the turning point for me and my voiceover career was the pandemic, of course. In March of 2020, all the TV, theater, and film projects that I was on hold for, they all went away, and voiceover was the only game in town. Thankfully, I have an amazing agency that is bi-coastal and is primarily known for voiceover work, and he told me, I cannot send you any auditions until I know for sure that you have a broadcast quality studio with Source Connect that is up and running. I didn't fully understand what he was talking about, but I hit the ground running, and I was immediately blown away by how generous and supportive the VO community really is. I mean, I joined the Facebook group Voice Actors of NYC, and I was able to ask questions about everything because I knew nothing. And I also got reacquainted with an audio engineer that I knew, Frank Verderosa, who was giving free Zoom seminars on how to build an at-home studio. So I hopped in one of those seminars, did everything he said, and within 2 weeks, Frank tested the audio quality of my booth and gave me the stamp of approval of being a broadcast quality setup. So I immediately emailed my agent, and I believe he sent me auditions that night because back then everybody was working crazy hours. And within a week or so, I booked an online commercial for Crayola. And then shortly after that, I booked a video game. And then shortly after that, I booked a promo for a new show that was going to air on ABC Network. I was so excited. I was elated until I was replaced on said show by a male celebrity and learned that that is also part of show business. But these jobs in quick succession proved that I could do this, that I could compete with other voice actors who have been doing it longer than me and doing it from home, and I could earn a living. And so each year, as long as I keep earning more than the year before, I will keep going and do it because I absolutely love it. The genres that I work the most in are commercials and promos. Healthcare, I do quite a bit of ISI, which is important safety information, employee onboarding, a few video games, and I also do quite a bit of something called ADR, which is audio dialogue replacement. And I really like doing this kind of work because I get to go to a sound stage and work with other actors, and you feed off that energy. And what we do is we give the atmospheric voices to set up the scene. So, if the movie or TV TV scene takes place in a bar or a hospital or on a beach, you have to provide all those voices. And the biggest skill with ADR when you're on a soundstage is you have to be able to talk at length about nothing in particular. You don't want to pull focus. So you just have to get comfortable with talking about anything and everything that's basically pretty boring. Because they don't need to know exactly what you're saying, but they want to hear voices, and that creates the ambiance of the scene. Sometimes you do have scripted lines, but mostly, even if it's an announcement on a PA system, whether it's a hospital or a train station, sometimes you're making that up right on the spot, right on set. So you have to be ready for anything. And political work, which is its own thing entirely. I never did anything political until that spring of 2020. That was a huge election year. And I really like doing political work because it's evergreen. There is always an election or a proposition or initiative happening somewhere. And I also love doing political work because it's super fast-paced with crazy tight deadlines. I mean, it's churn and burn, you're in, you're out, done. I also like doing political work because as a citizen, I feel like this is my opportunity to stand up and lend my voice and my support to candidates and causes that I believe in. As for my vocal characteristics, I have a mid-tone voice that is warm, friendly, approachable, a little textured, effervescent, authoritative, knowledgeable, clear, down-to-earth, wry, and witty. I play a lot of moms, doctors, nurses, teachers, best friends, and I love it. It's very close to who I am. I mean, that's my personality. I just lean into my strengths and try to have as much fun with each audition as I possibly can because the audition is really the only thing that I have control over. Dream clients. I want to talk about things that I haven't voiced yet, and I would love to book a car commercial. I really love Lexus and Jeep and the electric car Genesis. I also haven't booked a makeup or a beauty brand, and I love lipstick and perfume. So I would love to book NARS or MAC. And as for perfume, I'm a classic fragrance girly. I like old school things like Chanel No. 5. And I also love a lot of the Calvin Klein fragrances. And I'm also really into this new brand called Brown Girl Jane. They have so many delectable fragrances that are just light and airy, and they just smell so scrumptious. So yeah, love to do that. Also, I haven't done a mascara, and I am a die-hard Maybelline mascara wearer from way back in the day. So to me, getting dressed is eyeliner, mascara, lipstick, and perfume, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the day. The whole focus of the Building Doors campaign is to amplify women's voices in male-dominated genres. So to that point, I would love to do more sports promos. I am a die-hard Red Sox fan, and right now, they're killing me. Because the pitching isn't great, but it's early days and they can still get into the playoffs. I'm keeping hope alive. Also, I'm a big fan of tequila. I really enjoy a brand called La Gritona Reposado. It comes in a beautiful green bottle. You can sip it on the rocks, make a margarita, or mix it with anything. It's delightful. And I haven't heard a female voice on a tequila ad ever. Why is that? Fun fact about me is that I have worked in about 10 different hotel brands in New York City, with my longest stint being at the Marriott in Times Square. I have worked also for the Four Seasons and the Peninsula Hotel, so I would love to be the brand voice of any of those. And I'm just now connecting the dots on this, but my experience in the hospitality industry by working in so many hotels, it really lends itself to the work I do as a voice actor and how I run my business, right? In the hospitality industry, you're always mindful of guest experience. You want to make sure everyone is having a wonderful time and they have everything they need to have a great time, and that you're also anticipating the guest needs, right? You are delivering something that they didn't even know that they needed. Yes, you always have to be friendly and kind and warm and open, because oftentimes in my capacity at these hotel brands, I was the first line of the guest experiencing that hotel brand. So I never wanted anyone to have a terrible time. I always wanted everyone to be happy and joyful that they were there. And now, in my voiceover business, I am my brand. In everything I do and in every aspect, I have to make sure that I deliver an amazing product that I am friendly, easy to work with, professional. I like to deliver files before deadline. And if I'm in a directed session, that means I show up early. I am pleasant. I bring ideas. And that means if during the session they need an ad-lib, I'm ready to drop them in. If they change some words around, I make notes and I do what they say. It's that easy and it's fun. Thanks so much for checking out my Building Doors podcast episode and for your support of the campaign. If you'd like to work together, you can email me at soraya@sorayabutler.com. And please visit my website at sorayabutler.com to hear more of my work.
Thanks for listening to the Building Doors podcast. Want to hear more? Check out all our episodes at buildingdoorsvo.com/podcast and follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn at Building Doors VO. We'd love to hear from you, so call us on our 24/7 hotline at 216-307-1917 and leave us a voicemail with your thoughts. Do you want to support the podcast? Well, we love coffee. Buy us a cup through the link in the description or at buildingdoorsvo.com. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep speaking up, and let's keep building doors together.